Today we're talking about small RVs. A friend of mine once looked at my compact rig and asked me,
Why would you want a small RV?
and frankly, that's what most people think, but they're missing the point. I mean, sure, there's less space, but it's not only about that. It's about gaining total flexibility, slashing your costs, and actually using the damn thing. So, if you want an RV that pays for itself in memories rather than sitting in the driveway, this video is for you. Let's go! After years of hauling a full-size fifth wheel, I know the drill. You spend half your weekend just hooking up, finding a site big enough to fit, and praying the fuel bill doesn't ruin the trip. The Freedom Camper Trailer flips that script entirely. It rides in your truck bed, so there's no trailer to wrangle, no separate storage unit, and zero towing stress. Fuel economy stays nearly unchanged, a real number that matters when you're heading out every other weekend instead of twice a year. Setup takes minutes, and it sleeps too comfortably on a proper 58 by 89-inch mattress with a vent fan, LED lighting, and optional solar keeping you off-grid without drama. Add a cooler and a camp stove, and you're genuinely set. Fair warning though, it's tight for tall folks, and there's no built-in kitchen or bath. But at around $3,300 to $5,000, it's hard to argue with a rig you'll actually use. Next up, we've got something with a bit more structure built in. Towing a heavy trailer changes how you think about every trip. Like for me, personally, any spontaneous detours had to be calculated risks. The TrailPod teardrop removes most of that friction. Sub 1,000 pounds means virtually any SUV or mid-sized truck can pull it without breaking a sweat, or your fuel budget. It fits in a standard garage, which alone saves you a storage unit rental year after year. Where I've talked about fuel savings before, this one makes that advantage even more consistent across the board. Inside, two people sleep on a proper queen bed, and the rear galley kitchen, sink, two-burner stove, fridge space, handles cooking without pretending a cooler is enough. External storage boxes are genuinely useful, not just decorative. But in all honesty, headroom inside is limited without a pop-up option, so rainy day lounging gets cramped fast. Starting around $15,000 to $20,000, it's purpose-built for people who want to go more often, not just go bigger. One thing big rigs never let you forget is how much they demand from your tow vehicle. Heavier tongue weight, constant strain, and fuel economy that makes every long trip feel expensive before you've even arrived. The Miniatouring M23 is built with that problem in mind. At around 830 kilograms empty, it's light enough for modern SUVs and even EV tow ratings, which opens up vehicle options most larger caravans simply can't match. Park it in a standard garage, skip the storage fees, and you're already ahead financially before the first trip. What sets this one apart is the layout thinking. The slide-out outdoor kitchen is genuinely functional, the interior converts cleanly for 2 adults, and the optional pop-up roof adds sleeping space for 4 without bloating the footprint. Storage is smartly tucked throughout, but realistically, a base pricing of nearly $27,000, with extra if you want the solar or AC add-ons, you'll need to manage finances carefully and know exactly what you need to make the most out of it. Still, for a rig this capable, that's still a different conversation than a full-size trailer. With bigger rigs, generator fuel and hookup fees become a regular line item. You're always chasing power and always paying for it. The Campworks NS-1 treats that problem as the starting point, not an afterthought. This is a teardrop-sized trailer built around a serious electrical system. Up to 12 kilowatt hours of Life PO4 storage and deployable solar that can actually recharge your EV tow vehicle at camp. For anyone running an electric truck or SUV, that's a genuinely different ownership equation on long trips. The NS-1 stays compact enough for tighter campsites and reasonable garage storage, yet inside it delivers a queen bed, induction cooking, and an electric heater, not just some stripped-down basics. The clearance and suspension handle rougher terrain without drama, but I'll be straight with you. The battery pushes its dry weight past 1,700 pounds depending on configuration, and the fully loaded versions climb toward $40,000 to $50,000. But if off-grid capability is your priority, few small rigs deliver it like the NS-1. Next, we look at something that takes a different approach entirely. Most large RVs come pre-decided. Fixed layout, fixed features, fixed limitations. You adapt to them, not the other way around. The Zion Off-Road Z2 works completely differently. It starts as a tough, well-built utility trailer and becomes whatever your camping style actually needs. Roof tent, awning, fridge slide, storage boxes, all bolt-on via T-slot tracks. Use it for hauling gear on weekdays, convert it for a trail camp on the weekend. At 950 pounds dry, most SUVs handle it without strain, which keeps fuel consumption and tow vehicle wear reasonable across regular use. The integrated lighting, switch panel, and power hookups mean you're not starting from zero on electrical either. Add an RTT and you've got a functional sleep setup without building a full camper. And just so you know, the base trailer ships bare. There's no enclosure, no kitchen stock. You're building the livability yourself, which takes time and budget. Starting at just $7,600, the Z2 is one of the most affordable entry points in this lineup, if you're willing to deck it out yourself. Bigger rigs spend a lot of time in the shop. Wood frames rot, fiberglass cracks, and maintenance costs quietly pile up between trips. The ECNO Evil Unit 1 is built with that reality in mind from the ground up. The frameless HDPE body doesn't rot, doesn't mold, and shrugs off the kind of trail abuse that would crack a conventional shell. At 780 pounds, it tows behind most mid-sized trucks without meaningfully touching fuel economy. And at 12 feet long, it fits campsites that larger trailers simply can't access. Inside, it's deliberately simple. A 6-inch mattress for two, interior shelves, a ventilation fan, and solar pre-wiring. That's it. The external hatch gives you a dedicated gear and stove area that keeps the interior clean, which may not be luxurious, but it's pretty organized. The real limitation here is interior headroom and sitting space. It's tight, and there's no built-in kitchen or water system like I said. You're bringing your own setup. Starting at $13,990, it's priced for people who want something bulletproof, or should I say mallet-proof, over something overly luxurious. That's a clear trade-off, and for the right person, it's worth every dollar. One frustration with larger trailers is how much you still have to add before they're genuinely trip-ready. Solar, water systems, kitchen gear, awnings, the costs stack up fast. The Nomade TR4 arrives with most of that already sorted. At roughly 1,430 pounds, it tows nimble and light, which means you're not fighting the trailer on winding roads or hunting for oversized campsites. The independent suspension handles rough tracks without drama, and the compact footprint opens up spots most rigs can't reach. What makes this one stand out in the lineup is how complete it is from day one. 120-watt solar, 110-liter fresh water tank, slide-out gas kitchen with hot water, dual awnings, and a proper mattress inside. For couples, that's a functional off-grid setup without a single add-on. While it covers the basics nicely, the base solar still suits shorter trips. Extended off-grid use will likely push you toward an upgrade. Fully equipped at around $14,680, the value relative to what's included is genuinely hard to argue with. There's a version of going small that doesn't mean giving anything up. It means fitting serious capability into a compact, towable package. The Kingdom Campers Adventure Pro Mini 2.0 sits at that end of the spectrum. At around 15 feet, a mid-sized truck handles it without the white-knuckle towing experience of a full-size fifth wheel, and the articulating hitch actually lets it track well on uneven trails. That's real-world maneuverability, not just a spec sheet claim. Inside, it punches well above its footprint. 12-volt air conditioning, a Truma furnace, 300 amp-hours lithium, 400-watt solar, slide-out kitchen with a dual-zone fridge, and a tri-fold mattress that sleeps 2 or 3 comfortably. This is the rig you take out in January without second-guessing it. The honest reality. Starting at $45,000 to $55,000, this is the premium end of the small RV conversation, and it's heavier than most trailers in this lineup, so tow vehicle choice matters. But if you want one compact rig that handles everything, this one makes a strong case. When you've owned a large rig, you learn quickly that remote trails and heavy trailers rarely cooperate. The The rigs that can handle real terrain are usually too big to get there comfortably. The Taiga camper Pathfinder is built around closing that gap. Compact enough for SUV towing with solid ground clearance and heavy-duty independent suspension, it reaches spots that would turn a larger trailer around. That kind of trail access is what actually changes how often you use a rig. Inside, 2 to 4 people sleep comfortably. The slide-out kitchen handles real cooking, and the storage layout is organized enough that you're not living out of bags. There's 200 watts of solar and water tanks to give you a genuine head start on off-grid capability without needing immediate upgrades. Just keep in mind that the base amenities are functional but modest. Extended trips will likely push you toward add-ons for heating and power. Estimated between $25,000 and $35,000, it sits squarely in expedition territory without the full-size price tag. And that's really the through line across every rig we've covered today. Going small doesn't mean settling. It means going more.